Guys, what's up? For those of you who don't know me, my name's Chris. I'm one of the owners here at Hilson Luxury Motors in Jasper, Georgia. And today we're starting things off a little bit differently. Most of the time, my overview videos of vehicles that I'm selling, they'll start in my warehouse as we do kind of a walk around there. But I've already had the car outside today doing the pictures of the vehicle that I want to showcase, and figured that I would start with the stuff that I normally forget, which is inside my office. And so we could talk about the car briefly and go over all the documentation I have for this car. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I appreciate you watching this video. And today I've got a 2006 997 C2S. So 2006 911 Carrera S. This car is a manual car. It's got 66,500-ish miles. The exact miles will be on the website when the listing goes live. And just wanted to talk about a few things that this car comes with. And obviously the conversation that'll start with the IMS bearing. We'll go ahead and get all this out of the way at the beginning. And then we'll take a walk outside and walk around this thing, go over the inside, touch all the buttons, do a quick drive, and see what we got here. So to start with, for those of you that are familiar with the IMS cars on the M96 and M97 engines, you already know what I'm about to say. For those of you who don't, I'll briefly go over the cars that are susceptible to that failure and the cars that are not. Typically all of the 05 997 cars, most of them that is, have the smaller bearing and are more prone to that failure. Luckily this is a late production 06, so the engine number on this car is after the larger bearing retrofit from Porsche. So excuse me. So anything with an M97 engine, that is the engine number, that is M97, 01, 685, 09, 791. Anything from there and above have the larger revised bearing. This car, M97, 01, 686, 06, 933. So this is going to have the retrofit larger bearing from Porsche, which less, everybody's got their own numbers, but less than a 1% failure rate. You typically don't see it on the revised cars. You typically see it on the older cars, or unless the car was just abused, which this is not the case with this car. So went ahead and got that out of the way. I purchased this car out of California. This is a 2-owner car and has been in California since new, which is really nice. A lot of these cars come from the Northeast, not all of them, but a lot of them that show up on the market come from the Northeast, and we all know what the Northeast is going to show on these cars. A lot of corrosion, especially underneath, some of your more susceptible areas, wheels, rockers, things like that, that will really eat these cars up. So this is a really nice, again, 2-owner car that's been in California since new. On top of that, it's got fantastic service history. A lot of the regular routine maintenance has already been done on the car throughout over the years, and on top of that, we just had the car inspected and serviced by a local service shop that I'll get into here in just a minute. There will be undercarriage pictures on my website as well on the listing that they took while the car was being serviced, because I don't have a lift here at my dealership to be able to put it in the air and do that. Anyway, really nice, really clean car, really good color combination. This car is lapis blue with gray leather interior. The lapis blue, if you've never seen that color in person, it is an awesome color. It's a dark blue, obviously, as you see, with a lot of metallic in it. When it's cloudy, kind of like it is today, or at night or dusk, it tends to look almost black, which is kind of cool. And then in the sun, it's a really bright, dark blue, nice metallics in it. Just a good looking car. A car that you don't typically see a lot in a land of, seal gray, black, silver. This is kind of unique, and for that, I like that. So let me turn this camera around and show you some of the documentation I have on the car that came with the car, and then we'll take a step outside and see what we got going on. So here we are at my desk. And so to start with, obviously, as you see, we have 2 remote keys. So that's always nice. 2 keys came with the car. So we're good to go there. We have a full set of owner's manuals. I'm not going to pull all these out, but as you see, if I can get this to stand up correctly, I do have a full set. This is the original Porsche book. So good to go there. We will start with our build sheet. And so here we are with this vehicle. As you see, production month, again, it's a later production run number. As you see, the warranty start date wasn't until March 9th, 07, sold kind of late. Lapis blue, stone gray, standard leather interior. As you see here, self-dimming mirrors, heated front seats, sport chrono, all the important stuff, Bose, lapis blue, stone gray floor mats, power seat package, stainless steel exhaust pipes, and sport shifter. So with a $89,000 MSRP, not a super highly optioned car, but nonetheless, it is optioned very well. This right here that you're seeing, and there's going to be pictures of this on the website, this is our inspection and service that we had done locally. As you see, date here on Halloween of this year, and this is real close to where we are located here in Jasper, Georgia. And the car checked out really well. It didn't need anything additionally, and that kind of goes with the service that has been done previously before my acquisition of the vehicle. So here's some undercarriage pictures. There's going to be color ones that I'm going to have on the listing, so you'll be able to see that a lot better. And just some other pictures they took. So right off the bat, this car does have a nice set of Michelin Pilot PS4s on it. As you can see right here, PS4s, the date was March 27th, 2018, and these were bought from Tire Rack with a warranty. And the gentleman paid right there about $1,165, it looks like, for the tires. And, well, excuse me, let me back that up here real quick. Yeah, no, that's right, $1,165 for the tires. And then you have the Mountain Balance invoice right here, which would have been just a few days later on April 4th, 2018. And the car had 42,299 miles on it when these tires were installed. So again, we got 66,000 miles on the car. So roughly close to 25,000 miles have been put on the tires, and they're still in great shape. And we'll go over those once we get outside. Now, the rest of this, which is so cool that all of this came with this car, and it's not just the service history that you're seeing on Carfax. There is every detailed, I'm not going to go through all these because it's going to take too much time. You can see this car was maintained mostly at Porsche, at this gentleman's local Porsche dealership. Again, most of the routine 30, 40, 50, 60,000 mile services are done. Most of that can be seen on the Carfax. But again, all of this is going to come with the car for whoever purchases the car and their records. So really cool that all of this came with the car. I can keep going on and on and on with this. There's a ton of it. And a lot of the emissions, I think most of the emissions that were done on this car while this gentleman owned it, most of the emissions, proof of emissions and smog tests, which I'm not super familiar with, is here. So really cool that all this paperwork came with this car. I know I was really excited about it, and for us car guys, that's something that we always want. So now that you can see this picture here, full set of books, 2 keys, tons of paper documented service history on this car to go with it. We will now head outside and see what we got here. All right, so here we are. Obviously I came outside here to do this, the rest of this video out here. So for those of you who are not familiar with my channel, we do a lot of Land Cruisers, a lot of Toyota in general, sport utilities, harder to find 4Runners, a lot of different generation 100 series, 200 series Land Cruisers. Do a lot of these 911s, 997s and 991s specifically. And we do a lot of Corvettes. So it's been a little while since we've been in the market, just due to the way the market has been the past couple of years since COVID with pricing. We were, we wanted to kind of take a step back, let the market settle, and I feel like this car is going to be, aggressively priced. So without further ado, let me unlock it. We will fire it up. It was running earlier when I was doing the pictures for the website, so it's not going to be cold. That's sort of cold. But so there we are. As you see, no lights on or anything like that as of now, but we will come back in here to finish the inside here in just a second. So let's get outside. I'm gonna pop this, pop that. All right, so the first thing that we will say, or I will say, I should say, this car does show a quote-unquote damage reported to the front on Carfax. Now, if you're not familiar, obviously I've been in the business now for 20 plus years. I look at thousands of Carfaxes a year. They differentiate accidents from damage reported, minor accidents, moderate, and severe. Typically when you see damage reported, these are things where, someone bumps somebody in a parking lot, they hit their garage, they hit their mailbox, they backed into their wife, and they had to make some kind of claim for this car. So with that, I just wanted to show you, obviously I'm very familiar with, looking for damage, looking for previous paint work, and I'm going to go over that with you and show you what I have found. Now to start, before we open the bonnet, we'll start at the front bumper. This front bumper has not been painted on this car. Okay, so again, the damage reported claims that there's damage reported to the front of the vehicle. Again, this bumper has not been painted. I left it. There's very minor rock chipping going on, normal kind of environmental damage that you're gonna see on really any car as it ages. I'm not sure if this video is doing it much justice. I hope it is, but that should give you an idea of how minor it really is. Overall, it's in fantastic condition. And what you're gonna see is just, what's on the bumper, I should say, is just normal over the years kind of wear and tear. But again, very, very minor. I don't even know if you can see any of what's there. But same thing with the hood. Very, very minor. Things that you would expect. There are a few little touch-up spots that somebody hit at some point right here on the hood. Back up. There is one right here on the fender. There's one right here on the fender. And where else did I say? Oh yeah, right here. There's a few spots right here on this panel between the headlight. right here. There's a spot up here I saw, but yep, kind of right there. I know this reflection is making this difficult. But again, let me stand back. I mean, look at the hood right there. We're gonna go over this car with a paint meter later in the video. But the paint on this car is in fantastic shape. This car overall is in great shape. So, you know, the reason that I left this kind of the way that it was due to the fact that this car has no paint work on it. So obviously, had they painted the bumper, had they painted the hood, had they painted the trim pieces that run down, you know, part of the fender down here by the headlight, either it would not look uniform, or you would have, you know, bumper fresh, hood not, fenders fresh, hood not, hood fresh, fenders and bumper not. So, you know, the consistency is why it looks the way it does. So I like that part of it. But let me open this up and we'll kind of go over some things under here. All right, so what you're seeing here, this is the tag that was on the car when I bought it. I left this in the car because, as I mentioned previously, we have most of the smog and emissions documentation on this car. But what's cool is you can really see how thick these stickers are. So this tag probably stayed with this second owner all the way through. So this is like the original tag he got when he bought the car as the second owner. I thought that was cool. Maybe everybody else doesn't, but I thought it was cool, so I wanted it to stay with the car. So here's the original set of the gray floor mats. As you can see, they're like new, so those will come with the car. It's got a black set of mats in there. I think the black looks better, that's why I kept them in there. This is a custom sunshade that's fit to the windshield, so I just left that in there. And here we are. We do have a CD changer. We do have, I kind of undid all this so that this would be easier to get off. If you know how big of a pain in the butt these things can be sometimes. There we go. So here we go with our tire inflator tow hook. For those of you who don't know, this is a little toolkit. So screwdriver and other tools that you're going to need to change your tire. And then you have your tire sealant that clearly has never been out of the bag or used. So that's all nice. So that all comes with the car. Most of the time you don't see these cars coming with all of that. Something along the way will become missing. People like to keep stuff just as a keepsake, whatever. So that's pretty cool. So getting back to the damage reported on the Carfax, I also went ahead and kind of undid these trim pieces, or the trim clips. And I'm going to kind of go over a couple things here if I can get this back out. There we go. All right. So you might say, what are we looking at here? This is all, I'm going to call it mud, where they wipe these panels together. All of this is factory. All right, and a good way to tell about this is just look at the other side. How does the other side look? They're not going to be able to replicate it exactly, but it's pretty obvious under here. And those of you who know, this is what this video is for, or this part of the video, is that showing that all of these factory welds, get this back open here, try to position myself. You can clearly see everything under here is 100% original and has never been touched. All your spot welds down here where my finger is, all of that is factory and original. Never been, you're not going to be able to replicate that. If this car was hit in the front, you can't replicate those spot welds like they do from the factory like that.
But everything looks really nice under here the way that it should look, and consistent. Both sides look almost identical. There's our frame rail right there, and all that wiping that you're seeing, all that is factory. You got a factory spot weld. I'm trying to hold this right up here. That is all 100% factory. So I'm just showing this to show that all of the panels are original on this car. Nothing's been replaced. So, you know, whatever damage was done, which I can't figure it out, it was extremely minor. And of course, there's no receipts or anything that came with the car showing anything. So again, I just don't think there was anything major going on. And again, we're going to go over the paint work on the car with a paint meter here soon. The next thing we can look at are these bolts. None of these bolts have been turned. These are, well, you've got the hood factor or the hood support bolts right here. Then you've got your fender bolt right there. I'm not going to lift. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Now I am. But we can see that all of our fender bolts look nice and match. None of them have been turned. Same thing with the hood bolts over here. And a lot of times what you'll see is when these bolts have been turned, you tend to see trash. Some people will try to repaint over them. You're never going to get them perfect like they look right here. And so all that looks really nice. So I'm gonna just temporarily throw this stuff back in here, and I'll put it back together in a little while so that you don't have to watch me do it. Bottom of the hood. Looks really nice. So there's no, you know, there's no paint lines, there's no rough edges. Those of you who know, these Porsches, especially the 997s, they are very smooth on these edges. It's very easy to tell, feeling if, you know, something has been done. Let's see if I can get this up. All right, I'm not gonna mess with that. All right, so we will carry on here. So all of our lenses, those of you who are familiar, they look excellent. They're in great shape. Not pitted out, not faded, not yellow. Same thing with the headlights. Fantastic condition overall. You can really see there. Let me walk back over here. Take a look at this side. Really nice condition. So we'll start out with this left front wheel on this side. These wheels are all in literally perfect shape. They haven't ever been painted. They've never been repaired. What you're seeing is original and stock. You would not see this on a car that's been up northeast, or even a lot of times, you know, from anywhere else. Whoever owned this car for the length of time they did, they really took care of it mechanically, cosmetically. Overall, a really nice car. As we can see, we got our PS4s up here. And I'm gonna have pictures of the tread depth better on the ad, but again, roughly 25,000 miles on the tires. And if you know Michelin's, especially on the PS line, the PS2, 3s, and now the 4s, it's a long life tire. There's a great shot of the side of the car. There's no dents, no damage, no major scratches, no nothing on this car. We've got our clear protectant back here, which is holding up nicely. You do have your normal little bit of rash right here, but it's very light. I've you know, over the years buying and selling these, we've had to replace them. This is not the case. Very nice. Coming back to this rear wheel, same thing like the front, very consistent, hasn't been painted, no curb rash, no scratches, no nothing. Again, another PS4 back here as well. Try to, there you go, there's a good shot. And I have the hood popped, so that's why it looks like that. I mean, this car, the paint on this car is so nice. I love it. Windshield's in great shape. Nothing going on here as far as chips, rocks, anything. We do have an original windshield. A few little minor pit spots. Let's see if I can get these. Video. Nothing major though. Roof. What a nice car this car is. People talk about California cars. They try not to make a big deal about it. Yes, you should make a big deal about it because it's obvious, and this is a great example of that. There's our 3.8. Sounds like a 3.8. Look how nice everything is down in here. Cars that have been in rusty environments. Ooh boy, you don't want to see those. Again, just since we're back here, we've got all our factory spot welds right here. None of these bolts have been turned on the hood. All of our factory spot welds going up through here on the back of the body. All of our designations, all the correct stickers. Fan just came on, in case you're wondering. Rear bumper is, there's literally nothing going on with this rear bumper. It's damn near perfect. So again, going back to the damage reported, this would be another area. As you see, this fender wraps around the gas door itself. The actual metal does. Excuse me, right here. And then all the way inside here. All of that is 100% factory. Never been messed with at all. Everything looks really nice in there, as it should. What a nice car this is. So here's our front wheel, right front I should say. Just like the others, no curb marks, no damage, no nothing. The lobster claws are good to go. That's a great shot of the side of the car. So our quarter panel protectant, same thing here, minor rash down here, but again, it is on all the plastic itself. So if you wanted to replace it, but as you see outside of that, there is nothing going on. So here's our rear wheel. Just like all the others. It's like almost like a new wheel. One other thing I want to hit are the mirrors. They're in great shape. Same thing with our pillars leading up to the roof line. Let me hit this mirror over here. So not only is the outside super nice, this inside is, well, you'll see. So some of our common prone wear areas, as we know right here on this armrest where the door pocket is, look how nice all that looks. Look at our pull handle, not scratched up. So nice. Obviously, I know you guys that are familiar, all of our trim up here, this stuff scratches so easily, and if you try to cover it up, it does not look good, but look how nice all of that is. So nice. Window does work, and come down, and oop. Does come up. So another common area for those of you that don't know, and those of you that do, I'm sorry, our kick plate and our little pocket right here. This is like a rubbery finish, and getting in and out, it tends to scuff, and that stuff will start to peel, just like the doors. Look how nice this is. There's not really even any scuffing on it. Look at the side of this seat. I mean, I don't even know if it's been sat in much. All of this leather is original. None of it's been replaced. Look at the side of our console. This stuff up here, for those of you that don't know, is similar to the material here on the doors that scratch really easily and is hard to replicate without replacing that panel. And you can see how nice it is. Cup holders do work. Well, I say that. Hold on. There we go. Yay, now you can put your 12-ounce Coke can, not beer, in your cup holder. Glove box. I pull everything out as I already went over. So let's look back here. A few little minor scuffs right here on the back of the seat. Not anything major. I've seen way worse than that. Oh, let me back up here. Here's our black mats. I think the black looks better. Kind of gives you a little contrast, the gray and black, but you still have the gray ones if you want to replace those. Or swap them out, I should say. Now, the back seats, they've probably never been sat in. They don't show anywhere at all. Let's fold this down. Look how nice all the carpet is back here. All of our trim back here is super nice. Carpet over the hump. Just a really well cared for example here. All right, let's move around. Give me some feedback on this color too. I love it. I know everybody's got their own personal opinions, but it's a hard to find combination on this car. Door panel's in great shape over here. Same thing with our door pocket cover. I mean, look how nice it is. If it sounds like I'm excited about the condition of this interior, I am, because I've owned quite a few of them over the years, and I don't know if I've ever had one this nice. Pull handle is like new, not scratched. Same thing with our trim up here again. Look how nice all of that is. The window switches aren't even scratched, which that's uncommon. Mirror switch looks nice. Looking down in our jamb at our kick plate, and you can see some very minor scuffing from getting in and out right here. That's the worst of it. None of where the switches are gouged up, which typically you're going to see all of them are. Same thing over here with this seat. I mean, the seat is like new. Could have done the Porsche crests in the headrest. I probably would have done that, but that's just me. Back of the driver's seat looks great. No scuffing, nothing going on here. Carpet on this side for the hump looks great. Bottom of the seat. Oh yeah. All of our trim. Oh yeah. So on this side of the console, you can see there is a little just from where the seat goes up and down, but typically you see a lot of damage going on up here, specifically on the pull handle and the shift knob. We'll get there, but outside of that, the console is in great shape. Armrest looks fantastic. Inside looks fantastic. Ashtray door looks good. This car is very neutral smelling. You can see the cigarette lighter's never been used. Not any kind of odors or anything in here. Shift knob and boot are in excellent shape. Same thing with our trim down here. Everything looks really nice. Do have a little minor wearing right here on the temperature knob itself and the fan speed right here on the edge. Those can be replaced if that's something you're into. Radio knobs are not melted, so they've been replaced at some point. Look at this steering wheel. I mean, literally looks new. What a car. All right, let me, I don't think I rolled down the window so we can see the window works. Let me do one other thing here. So the seat does go forward, does go back, and it does recline, and it does come back up. Let me hit the passenger side because I know I did not. Coming forward, coming back, reclining, and coming back up. All right, and I rolled the window down again. All right, so we will push a couple buttons in here real quick. so the left mirror does work. We're going out, we're coming back in, we're going down, and we're going up. Right side mirror, we're going out, we're coming back in, we're going down, and we're coming back up. Everything works as it should there. Sunroof, one touch, works as it should, and we will close it. And we will tilt it. And we will close it. All right. Let's see what else we got here. We will kind of walk through some of these settings real quick. So there is our sport mode. Let me get this stupid thing off. There we go. So everything works good there. Our temperature does adjust the way that it should. And our fan speed does go up. And we will toggle to the floor as well. Air is nice and cold. Heated seats. We're going to turn those off because it's hot. Radio. AM, back to FM. There's no CD, so we're not going to be able to do anything there. This car does not have navigation, so navigation system not available. But it does toggle through all of the normal settings. Hazards do work. So we'll turn the chrono on. For those of you who don't know, you're going to do that over here with the multifunction. So we are going to come down to chrono and we're going to set it. All right, and we're going to stop it, and then we're going to reset it. So everything works there as it should, and again, all of this is going to be controlled through the multifunction display right here. Oh, stop that again. And we will come back. Okay, so we're good there. Turn this down. The horn sounds like a Ferrari horn. So if that bothers you, you might have to have that fixed. Let me turn the lights on real quick. So our fog lights, side marker lights, headlights, all do work as they should. Tail lights, tag lights, tail lights. All right. Let me shut these back off. And we're going to extend the spoiler. Turn sport off. PASM normal, and there's our spoiler up. So everything looks good there, as it should. So yeah, so that's it on the outside and inside of this car, guys. Super, super nice car overall, really clean car. I'm gonna have to get my phone set up inside the car for a quick drive, and then we'll pull back in the warehouse and wrap up this video. So hang tight and we'll... All right, so one other thing I wanna do before we take this thing on a quick drive is our trusty old paint meter here. So we're gonna turn this thing on. For those of you that don't know, let's make sure we're on mil. SNG, mil, there we go. So for those of you that don't know, these measure the thickness of paint on the cars. You're never gonna have a number that's identical from panel to panel, but you want them to be within 1.5 millimeters, 2 millimeters max, each panel that is, of each other. You just want consistency. You know, if you see panels in the 4s and then all of a sudden you see a panel in the 7s, then that's a good sign that you've got some paint work going on there. But something that's gonna show, you know, something in the mid 3s, and then you get up in the 4s, you know, mid 4s, upper 4s, that's fine, because different spots on the car are gonna have lesser amounts from the factory of paint and clear on them, just because how they're shaped. For instance, the top of the fenders, because gravity wants to pull paint both ways, are gonna have less clear coat and paint on them than a flat surface would, like the hood or like the roof. So that's why you're never gonna have the numbers be the same, but you do want consistency there. So let's, we're in mil. So we'll start out on the hood, which is again where they said the damage was reported. We're sitting at 336, so that's a low reading. That looks like a factory reading. 329 on the front part of the hood, or the back part I should say. 377 fender. 412. 485. 462. So you can see how nothing is consistent, but it's all very similar. And again, that goes back to what I said about the shapes of these panels. Everything looks good on the driver's side, roof. Everything looks good there. $515. 496. Sorry. 423. 426. 76. 15. And lastly, all right, so there you go. Everything was within what, 1.1 mil and all the way up to like 1.8 mil, which that's going to be normal. That's consistency. Again, something that had been painted, a panel that had been painted, would show a very much higher number, 7s, 8s, things like that, especially on a car like this where you're going to have multiple stages of clear coat and not just one stage like our Toyotas do. So all right, cool. So let's take this thing out for a spin. You can see the old traffic. Everybody wants to go see all the leaves that have already changed in the mountains. We're at the foothill of the mountains, for those of you who don't know. But they already missed out. You can see the trees all burgundy. And we don't have any leaves here anymore. All right, enough of that. Let's go. All right, so here we are in the car. I really couldn't find anything the way my mount is to mount my phone to, so I'm going to attempt to hold it. So this should be fairly interesting. It's November 9th and it's like 80 degrees outside. I mean, really? All right. isn't going to be a very long drive, but it'll serve the purpose. This is such a nice car. It really, I'm not just saying that. This is such a nice car. It drives so good and it's so clean and it was so well cared for. You can just tell by the way it drives. And even in Jasper, Georgia, 60 miles north of Atlanta in the foothills of the mountains, we got traffic. But the brakes feel great. Everything sounds as it should. No odd noises. Yeah. There's a cool little vantage point. We're going to get around this traffic here in just 1 second. Degrees today. All the trees are off the leaves, but it's 80 degrees. No warning lights. If you're gonna have a Porsche with miles on it, you need to maintain it like this car has been. And again, being familiar, driven, owned a bunch of these over the years, this is a nice car. Let that car get out on me a little bit here. Are. Tuck this thing away where nobody can get to it. And there we are. So 66,550 on the miles. This will be a cool shot because you'll get a better idea of what the color looks like inside under the lights. And there we have it, guys. Hard to find car. Awesome, very nice car. Been very well cared for. Excellent service history. Low ownership car, not from the north. Let me try to get a better shot here of this color. I love it. It looks awesome. So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. By the time you see this video, this car will be on my website, which is Hilson, Hilson, luxury.com. You can reach out to me, Chris, anytime at 678-454-6060. You can email me at chris at hilsonluxury.com. And as always, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. I love doing these videos. I know they can be long, but I'd rather them be thorough than not. So appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.